Coach, where's kind of the most growth in the defense come from the first 3 games to the last 3 games?
Probably our consistency. We're playing more consistent together as a unit. And obviously, we're eliminating some explosive plays that we had given up, in a couple of those games early on. But the guys just show up to work every single day. They know what they have to do to improve. They know what we have to do to improve. And to their credit, they've gone out and worked hard to try to make that happen.
And then what just allowed you to kind of keep pushing them despite maybe some frustrating results to start the year?
That's the job. That's what we do. That's why you're a coach. That's why they're players. And we just continue to show up every single day and work on the things that we've got to work on. And that's what we've done.
And then did you have to adjust to anything personally, college-wise, whether it was game prep? How do you kind of make adjustments during the game, just getting back to college?
No. I've been doing this a while.
What were the steps you took to improve that consistency with them?
We stayed consistent. We didn't change anything. There was nothing magical to what we had to do or what we did. We just had to continue to keep working. We had to keep meeting, keep walking through, keep practicing, keep reviewing, stack days after days after days, and that's really what it is. It's just called work, and that's what we had to do.
What are the specific challenges that USC presents to your defense this weekend?
They're talented. They've got speed. They've got a good scheme. There's a lot that goes into it, but it starts with the players. They got good players. And then when you match that with a good scheme, they just put stress on you every play for 60 minutes, and you got to be on your job and all the details for 60 minutes.
Biagi has such a quick release. Lots of times on Saturday he was getting rid of the ball in less than 2 seconds. What kind of stress does that put, particularly on defense? Obviously, it's got to be frustrating for a defensive line trying to get to them.
Yeah, that's part of their scheme. It's what they do. They do it really well. But yeah, we're going into the game. We have to affect the quarterback, but you have to do that in different ways. It's not necessarily just about sacks. The rush and the coverage have to work together. But they do a great job with what they do and what they ask him to do, and they protect them. And that's why they haven't been sacked very much this year.
Hey Coach, so congrats on the turnaround on the defense, but obviously you guys shut out opponents in the last 3 games. What exactly is happening in the locker room? Is it a change in schematic adjustments, or is it personnel, attitude problems? What is going on?
No, there's really not a change in any of it. What we're calling is the stuff that we've been calling really since last spring. We'll have some new things each week for the opponent that we play, but we just had to continue to work, continue to improve our fundamentals, our eyes, our consistency, and understand that it's all part of the process, and you can't just show up and expect to win. You got to work, and you got to go earn the results that you want, and that's what we had to do.
Obviously, like I said, your defense has been dominant in the past game, but earlier this season, against ranked opponents, not so much. Now you have another top 25 team. What's the mindset going into this game, and what do you think needs to change to prove that this defense can play elite competitors?
Yeah, the mindset's the same it's been each week. We just got to go out and we got to play the calls. We got to make sure we execute at a high level. We got to play with great effort, great fundamentals, and again, do it consistently for 60 minutes. That's really it. And that's defensive football, and we've got to go out and play great defense on Saturday night.
What does this rivalry mean to you?
I'm really excited to be a part of it. I've been a part of some other big ones, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas, Oklahoma, and then this one, and feel really fortunate to be here, to have this opportunity to be in this game. It is a big game. Grew up watching this game, and it's an honor to be here. So it's one of the best rivalries in all of sports. So it's going to be a great atmosphere and a great opportunity to go out and play on Saturday night.
Coach, what's just kind of the last couple of weeks been like trying to get Noah healthy, but also bring along 2 other kickers in case you need them?
Yeah, it's just been an ongoing process. It was great to see Noah out there and being able to perform, and he's getting, trying to get all the way to 100%. But he definitely felt like he could go and be able to help the team, and so it was really positive seeing him being able to come through, in those clutch moments.
And then what's just the benefit of Tyler Buckner being able to play on multiple units, and then obviously he presents the ability to run and pass, and then obviously do his job too?
Yeah, it just goes to, team first guy, whatever role he can do. And so, again, dating back to when he was coming back last year, came into my office just like a lot of other players, just saying, Coach, I'd be interested in being on something. So just very open, very willing, and that's what you love about him. And so he's going to take pride in everything he does.
What's that moment like when Marcus calls for the play that you've been working on? Do you feel a little juice run through you at that point?
I wouldn't say necessarily juice, just, confident in the guys, and really just proud of them. But it's something that we've executed, we feel like a lot in practice. And so when the moment's called on, I don't have to do anything. So I just, try and put them in the best position we can to be able to execute to help the team.
Kickoff return, obviously, Jadarian has a memorable one against USC. What kinds of things have you seen from him this year? Because he's been close on a couple of them, taking it to the house.
Yeah, just again, the buy-in, and really I think he's confident in the return team as a whole. And again, it pays, you look out there when you have somebody like Malachi Fields, being a starter on the return unit, it's something that, okay, we have starters on this, I believe it's going to get blocked up, and he'll be the first to hop up there and be loving everybody up when he scores. So I think it's a true relationship of those guys. It's not transactional. Everybody's bought in, and you see it. You see the excitement when everybody celebrates with him on the big returns, and especially on the touchdown return.
Hey Coach, there's obviously been a noticeable improvement on discipline and special teams. How much is that film work versus culture?
I would say it's some of both. I try and teach it like a class, and normally when kids' favorite classes, is where they have the most success because they're engaged. And so to me, that's part of the culture. And so we try to make it fun. We try to make it energetic. And then, after that, then it's just, all right, how can we hold them to the standard that we need to? But at the end of the day, if it's not fun, it's not something they don't want to do, it's going to be tough. So it's a balance act. We're not necessarily goofy, but we like to make sure they understand it's going to be a good time and worth doing.
Mm-hmm. And is there a hidden yardage stat or moment from the past few games that stands out to you that was like a game changer in your eyes?
Is there a what? I'm sorry?
Was there a hidden yardage or stat in the past games that stood out to you as a game changer in the past few weeks?
No, I mean, you love to start the opening kickoff of this last game. Was the first kind of return we've actually had in a long time that our kickoff cover team got to go down and set the tempo. And so we was talking about trying to set the tempo for the game, whether it's the first kickoff rep or the first kickoff return. I don't know necessarily about the stats as much as just trying to figure out how can we each game impact the game. And so, if offense is doing their thing or defense is doing their thing, what area can we be able to say, hey, if we need to or we want to be able to contribute on?
Good.
Thank you all.
Back on the culture, what does it say about your culture that makes you consistently excellent impacting their all business?
I would just say I really try and be authentic with the guys. Really try and build relationships. Other than Coach Freeman, I'm probably one of the only people that typically addresses the whole team every single week. And so it gives me an opportunity to really, if I know I need to know every single person's name and not just their name, but try and learn something about every single one of them so we can have a real relationship. So again, it's not transactional. I try and be real authentic. And so it's a lot of time, it's a lot of investment. But I really feel like, guys will do anything and run through a brick wall for you if you show that you care about them. And so I really try and live up to that as much as possible.
To take on a starting role?
I think the way Joe's attacked his past couple of years here makes him super prepped. He's attacked like a starter. He's prepped like a starter. Joe will be ready to go.
And then what's just kind of the emphasis between him and you this week? Is it communication or is it bigger things?
Yeah, I think it always starts with communication when you're the center, but cut it loose. I think that's important too. We got to go play football at the end of the day, and 64 does a good job of that.
And then you guys have been elite in pass pro throughout the year. I guess what's kind of the key to having success in that?
Working together. That'll always be the name of the game up front for us. So I think that's kind of it's been the motive.
When you hear your head coach say this is going to be a bloody football game, what does that mean to you?
That's what you lean into. That's why you play the game. That's what we signed up for. That's what we lean into as a program.
You grew up probably watching this rivalry. What does USC Notre Dame mean to you?
It means a great opportunity. we're fired up. And you know we can't wait for the challenge.
What do you see from them on video?
They're a good ball club. Yeah. They bring a lot to the table, both offensively and defensively, and we got to be ready to go Saturday.
Okay. So obviously the sacks, you guys aren't letting too much happen. What's the emphasis on keeping CJ Clark so clean week after week?
Yeah, I think it is a testament to CJ too. CJ spends a lot of time with us. He gets us into the right calls, the right protections, and then it comes down to working together. Like I mentioned earlier, it's important for us five to be on the same page, and CJ does a good job of being on the same page with us, and it helps us up front.
If you see your team, you know the game will be decided in the trenches a little bit. What's the biggest challenge their front presents on film?
Yeah, they do a good job. They're a physical group. They bring a lot to the table, but you know, like I said, we're fired up for the challenge, but they'll be ready to go. Yeah.
Drake, from the outside looking in, it looks like the defense has played much faster and has its swagger back over the last couple of weeks. What's kind of allowed that to happen?
I think it's just people knowing exactly what they're supposed to do, kind of having clarity of what everyone's doing on the field. You know, there's no gray at all. Like it's black and white, and then you know, just a lot of more communication. You know, what we're seeing on the sideline. You know, what we're communicating on the field. You know, there's no room for error for really if you communicate. So.
And then you played USC last year. What's important for you guys at the second level to kind of contain their offense?
Yeah, you know, just biggest thing is going to be communication. You know, they're always going to have motions or something to scheme us up. So, you know, it's going to be communication. Just make sure we're doing our job. They're going to try and, you know, mess with our tools or our coverages or somehow, some way. They always do. And that's going to be the biggest thing. Is just making sure we know what we're supposed to do, communicating and executing.
You mentioned the increased clarity. How did that happen?
You know, just, you know, if we had questions we went and asked, it was kind of just a whole collective effort of, you know, coaches, players, everyone, just making sure, hey, like, if we have a question, we're not exactly 100% sure, we're asking questions. You know, coaches, you know, if we have to, you know, redo a play to know exactly where our fit is, know exactly where, you know, our gap is. It was kind of everything of just making sure everything's going to be 100% all the time. You know, there's no room for error, and you know, just everyone's going to know their job and do it.
Last week there was a play where they tried to run Smothers on about a 30-yard route out, and you had them well covered. When you see that start to happen, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, you know, you know, I saw him kind of cut split, and so I knew something was going to come, and you know, I was just reading his eyes, and you know, he'd see the ball start to come. So it was more just, you know, just play the man, play through his arms. You know, don't grab early, get a pass interference, and you know, just try to make the quarterback make a really good throw, and you know, just play the best defense you can.
Growing up in the region, is there a rivalry that you would compare to Notre Dame USC, and what does playing in this game mean to you?
Maybe for me at Drain, it was always playing Hobart. Yeah, we didn't like each other, but you know, it's a special rivalry. Like, you know, it's something that, you know, there's a long history for Notre Dame and USC, and so, you know, playing this game, you know, people before that played really well in this game are legends. So it's like, you know, this is one of the biggest games of, you know, our season, their season. You know, it's something you mark on your calendar every year to make sure that, you know, you're ready for USC.
Hey Drake, so the defense obviously hasn't allowed a single touchdown in the past 3 games. What has been adjusting in the locker rooms? What's the mindset when you guys go back out in the second half?
Yeah, you know, kind of just fixing maybe the things that we didn't necessarily do right, but it's more of just the mentality of like, all right, they're not scoring, we're going to do our job. Like, we're going to be a defense that we know we can't be every single time. And so, you know, we know that you may get a play on us here or there, but it's more just, all right, get your cleats back in the ground. Now you have to do it again and again and see if you can keep doing it for, you know, 60 minutes.
And you've been flying around out there. You're one of the more emotional players out there. What's been key in film prep that's helped you diagnose plays quicker?
Yeah, so really it was something JD taught me, just how to watch film, but just seeing what the line is doing, how they're moving, what the running backs are looking like when they're running certain plays, what the tight ends are doing, and then just kind of understanding what their offense is. Last week with NC State, we knew they wanted to get Smothers the ball. They loved to get him the ball, whether that was in the pass game, in the run game. They wanted to get him in space, and so him getting out on a pass route wasn't a surprise to me or to any of the defense really. And then trying to run certain things to get him the ball wasn't like a surprise to me. So, just understanding what their offense is, seeing how they're shifting and moving on these plays.
One more real quick. Their speed on film. What do you see when you watch film?
Yeah, they got really good receivers, obviously, and they always do. Tight ends move well in space. They're fluid and making contested catches. Obviously the quarterback, he's playing a really good ball right now. When we faced him last year, he was only 1 or 2 games before, so he's way more comfortable in the system. The running backs, obviously, the 2 are down, but they have the 2 that have played and are really good running backs as well. So, they have pieces all around. They know what they're doing. They know their scheme. They understand it, and so they're going to execute and they're going to try and do what they can do.
Kyngstonn, you missed the USC game last year. I guess what does it just mean to you to play in this game and play the hometown team?
Yeah, being out there with my brothers means a lot to me, and every game that we play means everything to me. So this week is no different.
And then it looks from the outside like the game slowed down for you. I guess was there a point this year, or even in fall camp or spring ball, where it kind of slowed down?
Yeah, I think just the reps that I got through spring ball, fall camp, and then the summer leading into the season has allowed me to be a lot more comfortable and play faster.
When you hear the head coach say this is going to be a bloody football game, what goes through your head?
It's just a game that's going to be won in the trenches. 60 minutes of football. That's what that means.
Is that appealing to you?
Absolutely.
Why?
I love football.
Hey Kyngstonn, your instincts have really flashed lately. What's one specific area Chris Ash has really helped you improve on lately?
Yeah, I think communication, getting young guys lined up and talking throughout the down, talking pre-snap to guys, making sure everybody's in line correctly.
And USC up next, it's kind of personal for you. You came from the West Coast. How much does it mean to you to be playing under the lights for Notre Dame?
Yeah, like I said, every game that we play means everything to me, and this week is no different.
Can you kind of take us through the interception, just because it was kind of the quarterback was throwing it away and you were in the right spot?
Yeah, just trying to be in the right spot, trying to help the DBs out and do it right to them.
And then was the dance planned?
Nah, it wasn't. Just kind of popped in my head right there.
Good. KK, you flashed a couple times over the last couple years. I guess what does Saturday's performance kind of do for you moving forward, just with your confidence and just kind of knowing that you can go out there and do that?
Like we talked about in the past, like told you I feel like I could flourish at this level, and Coach Brown, Coach Freeman always tell me to keep my eyes open on the next opportunity or like this opportunity coming up. I think that's just like been the biggest thing for me is like not looking too far ahead, just focusing on what I can do like right here when my number's called.
And then Coach Freeman talked about delayed gratification when he talked about you. What kind of allowed you to remain patient through the adversity of the injuries and then just waiting for your opportunity?
I think it's just like just trusting the program, trusting my coaches, my teammates, all the staff, just knowing that like God had a bigger plan for me, and I felt like that was here. And I just kept putting my head down, just trusted the process. And when my number was called, when they executed.
And then what's it just like playing with a quarterback like CJ?
It's awesome, man. He sees the field like nobody I've ever played with, and like he sees some things that we don't see, but then like he throw you open. It's awesome. I love it.
When you watch film with him, what's that experience like?
Kind of the same thing. You can tell he's just like a film guru. He knows everything. Seems like he knows everything. Like you might see a coverage a certain way, but he's like, maybe if I can get you over here, we can throw you open. Just certain things like that. Like he's just always trying to extend the play if it looks like it's covered up.
Speaking of watching film, when you watch the video of USC, what do you see from their defense?
See some good guys. You know, I think it's going to be a good challenge for us, and we're excited.
What does this rivalry mean to you?
It means like tradition, history. I know there's a lot of tradition and history that plays along into it, and I just think it's going to be a good challenge. Ready to go.
Hey, KK, first off, congrats on your first career touchdown. How did it feel to finally break through and be one of those top targets?
It was amazing, man. Like you said, my first one, so I wish it would have came a little bit earlier, but you know, I've been hurt in the past, so being able to finally get out there, get in the end zone, especially like in the home stadium, it was awesome.
And obviously, USC, big game this week. What are you looking forward to bringing to the table?
Just my speed, and when my number's called, I'm gonna go out there and execute. Just do the most I can. I'm not gonna overlook it. Just if I'm called on, I'm gonna execute.
Good. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.